looking at pictures of Alok Sharma snuffling and snivelling all over the place in the House of Commons after J-Dog's big scheme went a little bit sideways. It is to be hoped, of course, that Alok Sharma doesn't have COVID-19, but that's not really the point, is it? The point is that the social distancing, the 2-metre rule, was clearly unobservable in the circumstances, and I still find myself marvelling, even after everything we've been through, everything we're still going through. The daily death rate in this country now is more than the rest of the European Union combined. These figures go up and down, but that I would have, if you'd said to me a year ago, even after Brexit had broken everything and reality had been completely subverted by all the lies and broken promises, if you'd said to me a year ago, there's going to be a global pandemic, we're going to be the worst country in the world at responding to it, at handling it, and the football scarves will still work. You will still have people cheering Boris Johnson, even as he tries to say that he hasn't actually been in charge since January. He only took charge on Monday or on Tuesday. I forget which day it was when he announced he was taking back control of the country's coronavirus strategy. I would have laughed. Even I, as an arch chronicler of the madness, would have balked at the idea that the madness would lead us that far. You'll have the worst death toll per million in the world. You'll have more deaths now in month 6 since the alarm went off than every other European Union country combined. You got Boris Johnson yesterday calling for European Union citizens to come back here because we need them to work, on the same day that they're setting up a committee to preside over the abolition of freedom of movement. You've got Conservative MPs boasting about being on a committee that is designed to reduce British people's freedom. You've got fruit rotting in the fields. And you've got the Prime Minister begging European Union citizens to come back here if they went home before the lockdown or they went home at the beginning of the lockdown. Please come back because we really need you. By the way, we've abolished freedom of movement because, fish. But even against that backdrop, the idea that the great and the good of the UK government at some point in the last month sat around a table in Downing Street and contemplated an epic operation. Not even epic compared to what you might do for a living, but compared to what Jacob Rees-Mogg has done with his life so far, essentially invest other people's money and then slice a bit off the top of the profits. Full stop, end of career. And the idea that somebody would sit there and say, I know who we should put in charge of this rather challenging and difficult logistical operation. Let's get J-Dog to do it. And on day one, it looks as if a cabinet minister has actually carried coronavirus into the Commons. Again, it is to be hoped that he hasn't. But even if he hasn't, the photographs of MPs bottlenecking at the bottom of an escalator, Brexit hardman Steve Baker filming himself describing it as a complete farce and then marching into the division lobby to vote for it. What are you voting for today, Brexit hardman Steve Baker? Oh, I'm voting for a complete farce. Well, I suppose, given your support for Brexit, at least you're consistent. It's hilarious, except it's also home.